Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Theo and his wife lived in a cozy house on a quiet street. Their life seemed full of love and happiness. They shared many hobbies like painting, cooking, and hiking on weekends. Their home was always filled with laughter and the smell of freshly baked cookies or a new recipe they were trying out together. They loved planning date nights, whether it was going to the movies, trying a new restaurant, or just staying in to watch a favorite show. On the surface, everything looked perfect. They were the couple everyone admired and thought of as relationship goals. Friends and family often commented on how well-matched they were, sharing similar interests, and always supporting each other's dreams and ambitions. Their social media pages were filled with pictures of their adventures, cozy nights, and celebrations, painting a picture of a harmonious life. Despite this, there were moments when things weren't as smooth. Small misunderstandings sometimes grew into arguments that could last for days. These disagreements were usually over trivial matters like forgetting to do chores or deciding what movie to watch. Yet beneath these petty quarrels, there was a sense of tension that hinted at deeper issues. Theo, for his part, always tried to be understanding and patient. He believed in communication and often reached out to mend things after an argument. His wife, though she would apologize and they would make up, sometimes seemed distant, lost in her thoughts. Theo couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something she wasn't telling him, but he never pushed too hard, fearing it might lead to more disagreements. Their routine continued, with days filled with shared activities and evenings spent in each other's company. They enjoyed weekend getaways to nearby towns, exploring new places and making memories. These trips were Theo's favorite. It was a time when it felt like it was just the two of them against the world, rediscovering their love and commitment to each other. However, even on these trips, there were moments when Theo noticed his wife's attention seemed elsewhere. She would be on her phone more often, smiling at messages that she quickly hid when Theo glanced over. He brushed these moments off, telling himself it was nothing, probably just her friends sharing jokes or updates. Back home, life went on. They hosted dinner parties, attended family gatherings, and supported each other's careers. Theo's wife was ambitious, working hard at her job, and often stayed late to finish projects or meet with clients. Theo admired her dedication and was always there to offer a listening ear or a comforting word after a long day. Yet, as much as they shared, there were parts of Theo that remained hidden. He had interests and desires that he never shared with his wife, fearing her disapproval or misunderstanding. One of these was his interest in fashion and makeup, not just for his wife, but for himself. He had always been fascinated by the transformative power of clothes and makeup, how they could alter one's appearance and even boost confidence. But his wife had made it clear early in their relationship that she found such interests odd for a man, so Theo kept this part of himself tucked away, a secret hobby he only explored when he was alone. Their life, filled with love, shared interests, and mutual respect, continued. They celebrated anniversaries, supported each other through challenges, and made plans for the future. Yet, despite the outward appearance of a perfect marriage, there were undercurrents of dissatisfaction and unspoken desires. Theo often found himself wondering if this was all there was to their life together or if there was more, hidden just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. One evening, Theo's wife mentioned she was going out to meet her friends for a girls' night. Theo, used to their independent ways, smiled and wished her fun. He thought it was a good chance to relax alone, maybe watch a movie or read a book he had been putting off for a while. The house felt unusually quiet without her. Theo made himself a sandwich, settled on the couch with a blanket, and turned on his favorite show. Hours passed as he enjoyed the peace and the simple joy of being by himself, something he hadn't realized he missed. The clock struck midnight, and Theo's wife wasn't home yet. He texted her to see if she was okay, reminding himself that it wasn't unusual for her nights out to stretch into the early hours. She replied with a message full of typos, saying she was having a blast and would be home soon. Theo couldn't help but feel a bit relieved. He was glad she was enjoying herself. Finally, at around 3 a.m., he heard the front door open. His wife stumbled in, clearly having had too much to drink. Theo helped her to bed, where she immediately fell asleep, snoring softly. As he turned to leave the room, he noticed her phone had fallen out of her purse. It buzzed with a new message, lighting up the screen. Curiosity got the better of him, and Theo picked up the phone. The message was from a number he didn't recognize, but the words were unmistakably flirtatious. Frozen, Theo opened the message thread and found more messages, each more revealing than the last, along with photos that confirmed his worst fears. His wife was having an affair. Theo felt like his world had turned upside down. He sat on the edge of their bed, staring at the phone in his hand, trying to make sense of it all. The woman he loved, the person he trusted most, was keeping a secret that shattered everything he thought he knew about their life together. The next morning, Theo woke up early, the phone's revelations weighing heavily on him. He got ready for work, his mind racing with thoughts and emotions he couldn't quite understand. He wanted to confront her, to ask why, but he couldn't bring himself to shatter the fragile piece of their morning routine. At work, Theo found it hard to concentrate. His colleagues' laughter and chatter in the background felt distant, as if he were in a bubble of his own turmoil. Lunchtime came and went, and Theo barely touched his food. He knew he needed to make a decision, but the path forward was clouded with confusion and hurt. He remembered the times they had been happy, the way they laughed together, and the plans they had made for the future. Now those memories felt tainted, as if the truth had been hidden beneath a veneer of happiness. The trust that was the foundation of their relationship seemed irrevocably broken. As the day dragged on, Theo realized that ignoring the situation wouldn't make it go away. He needed to face it, but he wasn't sure how. The thought of confronting his wife filled him with dread, not just because of the affair, but because he feared what it might mean for their future. Theo decided he needed time to think, to figure out how he felt and what he wanted to do next. He knew this was a turning point in his life, a moment that would define his future. But for now, he was stuck in a limbo of hurt and indecision, unsure of how to move forward from this night of revelations. At home, he acted as if everything was normal, smiling and talking about mundane things like the weather or what to have for dinner. Inside, though, he was a mess of emotions. Each day felt like a repeat of the last, with Theo putting on a brave face, pretending nothing had changed. He went to work, came home, and shared meals with his wife, all the while feeling like he was trapped in a play where he had forgotten his lines. But Theo had a plan brewing in his mind. He wasn't just going to sit back and let the pain eat away at him. He wanted to do something that would make him feel in control again. More importantly, he wanted to explore a part of himself that he had kept hidden for too long. Theo remembered how, before he got married, he had been curious about crossdressing. He had always felt a pull towards it, fascinated by the idea of transforming himself, of seeing the world through a different lens. But his wife had made her feelings clear on the subject early on, dismissing it as strange and unacceptable. So Theo had buried those feelings deep down, convincing himself that it was just a silly fantasy. Now, though, with everything else in his life feeling so uncertain, the idea resurfaced with a new intensity. He thought, why not? What have I got to lose? It was a secret rebellion, a way to reclaim a piece of himself that he had given up for the sake of his marriage. Theo started small, researching online when his wife was not around. He learned about makeup, how to apply it to create different looks, and what clothes would work best for his body type. It was all theoretical at first, but the more he read, the more excited he became about the possibility of transforming himself. One day, when he knew he would have the house to himself for several hours, Theo took the plunge. He bought some basic makeup and a few items of clothing online. Nothing too extravagant, just enough to experiment with. When the packages arrived, he felt a thrill of anticipation mixed with nerves. What if he was terrible at this? What if it wasn't everything he had hoped? But as he started to apply the makeup, following the tutorials he had watched countless times, something amazing happened. With each brush stroke, with each piece of clothing he put on, he felt a sense of liberation. It was like he was meeting a part of himself for the first time, a part that had been locked away for years. He looked in the mirror and saw someone new staring back at him. He decided to call this new persona Theodora. As Theodora, Theo felt confident and free in a way he hadn't felt in years. It wasn't just about the clothes or the makeup. It was about embracing a part of his identity that he had been forced to ignore. Theodora became Theo's secret escape. Whenever he had the chance, he would transform into her, enjoying the freedom and the anonymity it brought. He even started going out at night, exploring the city in a way he never had before. Theodora made new friends, people who accepted her without question, who celebrated her for who she was. These outings became the highlight of Theo's life. As Theodora, he experienced a joy and a sense of belonging that had been missing from his life for a long time. It was a stark contrast to the day-to-day act he put on at home, pretending everything was fine with his wife. Theo's double life continued, with him balancing his outwardly normal marriage and his secret adventures as Theodora. It was exhausting, but also exhilarating. For the first time in a long time, Theo felt like he was truly living, not just going through the motions. Theodora's wardrobe slowly grew. Theo found joy in selecting dresses that swayed with every step, skirts that hugged his form just right, and blouses that were both bold and beautiful. He paired these with shoes he never thought he could walk in, but now strutted in with pride. Makeup was a particular revelation for Theo. He started with the basics, mastering foundation, concealer, and powder to create a smooth canvas. Eyeliner and mascara opened his eyes to new expressions, while lipstick added a finishing touch that made Theodora feel complete. He watched countless tutorials, absorbing each tip and trick with eagerness. Each application was a step closer to the reflection in the mirror matching the image he had in his heart. One night, Theo decided to venture further, exploring a new club he had heard about, known for its friendly crowd and fantastic music. Dressed in his favorite outfit, a stylish, form-fitting dress paired with a comfortable yet chic pair of heels, Theodora felt unstoppable. Her makeup was perfect, a blend of colors that highlighted her features, making her feel both seen and invisible in the best way. He danced freely, losing himself in the rhythm and the anonymity the night provided. People smiled and danced with him, accepting Theodora without question. As the night wore on, Theo made friends, people who saw Theodora for who she was and celebrated her. They shared stories, drinks, and laughter, creating memories that Theo would cherish. It was a community he had never known existed, a place where he felt he belonged. Returning home in the early hours of the morning, Theo would carefully remove Theodora's attire and makeup, each piece a reminder of the freedom he had experienced. He stored everything away in his secret hiding place, looking forward to the next time he could be Theodora again. These nights were Theo's escape, a way to live authentically, even if just for a few hours. Theodora gave him strength, a reminder that despite the heartache and betrayal he had faced, there was still beauty and joy to be found in life. One evening, as Theodora enjoyed her newfound freedom in the vibrant nightlife, something unexpected happened. She found herself at a cozy, little-known cafe that hosted live music on weekends. The atmosphere was warm, inviting, and filled with the soft glow of fairy lights. It was a place where she could blend in, enjoy the music, and meet interesting people. That night, the cafe was more crowded than usual. Theodora navigated through the throng of people, her heart beating with the excitement of discovering new experiences. She ordered a hot chocolate, the cafe's special, and found a spot near the stage. The music was captivating, a solo guitarist playing melodies that filled the room with a soothing ambiance. As she listened, someone took the seat next to her. Theodora glanced over and was taken aback to recognize the man from the photos on her wife's phone. It was him, the person her wife had been unfaithful with. For a moment, Theo felt a rush of emotions, surprise, anger, and an odd sense of curiosity. As Theodora, he was invisible to this man, just another face in the crowd. The man struck up a conversation, unaware of Theodora's true identity. He was charming, with a quick smile and an easy manner that made it simple to talk to him. Theodora found herself engaging with him. driven by a mix of intrigue and the desire to learn more about the person who had turned her life upside down. They talked about the music, the cafe, and their favorite places in the city. The man shared stories of his travels and adventures, and Theodora listened, offering her own insights and laughter. As the evening wore on, they discovered shared interests and a mutual appreciation for hidden gems in the city. Before the night ended, they exchanged numbers. For Theodora, it was a step into a complicated game. She had entered his life under a guise, with intentions he couldn't possibly imagine. Their meetings became more frequent. With each encounter, Theo learned more about the man who had unknowingly intruded into his marriage. He was complex, full of contradictions, and surprisingly easy to like, which made Theo's feelings all the more conflicted. Amidst this whirlwind of secret outings and conversations, Theodora and the man grew closer. It was a connection built on half-truths and hidden realities, yet it felt genuine. Theo, even in his disguise as Theodora, found a strange comfort in their companionship. Theodora's affair with the man was a carefully constructed illusion, a way for Theo to reclaim power in a situation where he had felt powerless. The day Theo decided to reveal everything was like any other day, sunny and peaceful. But inside Theo's mind, a storm was brewing. He had planned everything down to the last detail. He invited the man over, making sure it was a day his wife would come home early. Theo felt a mix of fear and anticipation. This was it, the moment of truth. The man arrived, greeting Theodora with his usual charm. They sat and talked, laughing like old friends. But today, Theo's laughter hid nerves. He kept glancing at the clock, counting down the minutes. Theodora and the man kissed. Then the front door opened. It was his wife, home earlier than expected. The look on her face when she saw them together was a mix of shock and confusion. Theo stood up, his heart racing. "It's me," Theo said, removing his wig, revealing his true self. The room went silent. The man looked between Theo and his wife, realization dawning on his face. Theo's wife stood frozen, unable to speak. Theo explained everything. He told them about the night he found the messages, how it broke his heart, and led him to Theodora. He spoke of his outings, the freedom he found, and the unexpected connection he made with the man. His words filled the room, leaving no space for doubt or misunderstanding. Theo's wife looked at him, tears in her eyes. She tried to speak, to explain, but words failed her. The truth was out, laying bare the secrets and lies that had tangled their lives. The man, caught in a situation he never imagined, apologized. He had not known about Theo and his wife, he explained. The confrontation was a turning point for Theo. He had expected to feel victorious, to relish in revealing the truth. Instead, he felt a profound sadness. Theo's wife admitted her mistakes, her reasons for seeking comfort outside their marriage. They talked, really talked, for the first time in what felt like forever. It was a difficult conversation, filled with hurt feelings and hard truths. But it was necessary. In the end, they decided it was best to go their separate ways. The love they once shared was overshadowed by betrayal and secrets. Theo, now more in touch with his identity as Theodora, realized he needed to explore this part of himself without the shadows of his marriage holding him back. After the confrontation, he found himself standing at the crossroads of a life once dictated by routine and expectations, and a future brimming with possibilities. This was not just an ending, but a new beginning for Theo, or more accurately, for Theodora. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.